Now, the rest of the story.
While I wait for the snow to melt, I'm here on the back end of the Stronghold tub. We need this in like another day, but I got to change the winch out on the back end here. This is what actually allows us to raise and lower the rear wheels from transport position to operating position. I mean, it's relatively simple, but the original winch that was on it failed and went through and ultimately put on a winch that was not heavy enough. This is only 1,000-pound lift versus the one that we'll be replacing it with, which is a 2,000-pound lift, which ultimately should be able to do the job. With these pins that are taken out on each end right here, then you'll actually lower this down with the winch, and down is easy. It's getting it picked back up is the hard part. And it won't take me very long at all to do. And say all that snow we got's really starting to melt again. Different setup. It's actually a worm gear versus just the standard handle. With, 2,000-pound lift. 25 feet of cable on it, so I'm just actually going to replace the one that's on it with the new cable. And this will be ready to go. We got the chute is not ours. It's out there somewhere. Oh, it's out beyond the truck. I gotta get that out to my brother's place. I gotta get this out to my brother's place. I gotta unhook the 7600 because Ryan is out hauling manure right now. Yes, hauling manure with the 79. I mean, who wants to be the first one to get manure on the new to us tractor? But it was ultimately Dad. I gotta get the mixer unhooked off that, and I'll probably use that for hauling everything out there because I got 3 different items. I also got to take out that blue feeder. Once the calves are run through the chute, vaccinated, cut, we'll be able to start feeding them with the steer feeder and not have to throw buckets anymore. The planter, I'll talk about that, I promise. That's going to be an upcoming video. Just got it folded out yesterday. Hopefully for the last time it's ever hooked to the 4640, because once we get done moving all the wiring and everything over to the 79, it's going to be the 79's job going forward here. Here that I'm really jealous of you guys, because this took 20 minutes of cranking, and you can see at one point here I had it sped up down to like 2 minutes, and I got a little desperate and was trying to compromise a little bit using the electric drill. And if I could have gotten it to work while I was sitting here trying to do this, I most certainly would have used the drill. I'm not saying we won't try to get something set up here and then maybe near future, but even though it takes a little bit of time, it's not like we're going the full 25 feet of cable every time we go to use this thing. So maybe 3 to 5 minutes of actually cranking to get this to raise and lower. And here I'm trying to, you can see the desperation just a little bit. And we're only using this tub a couple times a year. I mean, maybe once in recent years. And going forward here, I can think of probably 3 different times we would use it this year, namely because I'd like to get all 3 of our herds run through the chute. So this tub for how long we've had it, which I think we've had it since I was in high school now, has been relatively low maintenance. This winch that failed on it, the handle failed on the original one. I was the one that bought that last winch that failed. It was all I could find. Ultimately, it wasn't heavy enough to do what we needed it to do, and it failed the first day we used it. But now putting this on, this one is way more than what we should actually need on it. This tub should be good for another 10 years. I mean, maybe check the air in the tires, but we normally do try to keep it inside. It sat outside, like I said, trying to encourage myself to go through and get this fixed. But ultimately, I waited till the last minute to do it. And same thing with getting all the gates and all of our supplies around for running the calves through the chute, because we're doing that tomorrow. And I got to go check all of our tag inventory and get all of our paperwork and stuff around. But it shouldn't take too long to do, a few hours to run through 3 different groups, and then we'll be done running. Well, I bumped right over Ryan's bale spears that are sitting over here. He's got to find some replacements because he managed to snap both them off. And this is done. Simple enough. I might have to get a bungee strap or something so to hold this handle back. Only thing different from this winch versus the other one is I could keep going the way this thing is geared, and I could potentially snap this cable because there's literally nothing stopping me other than knowing that I've gone far enough, and this winch would certainly allow me just to keep wrenching it down, which is not what I want to do. But I'm glad it's fixed. It's been sitting outside for me to do something with basically all year, and that's not really good for it, but gotta go through and get everything moved out to Ryan's place now. I'm gonna end this video out in the cow lot. We went through and scraped it up once again, tried to get a bunch of manure hauled out. Didn't get a whole lot, and the goal is to go through and clean up this bed pack before it gets too soft out in the fields. But looking at the forecast, we may have already gotten to that point. Something I've actually been dealing with, and I've been talking around, asking around, I've actually got a little bit of pink eye in some of these guys. We treated them on, let's say Monday. So we treated them 2 days ago, and this one was probably the worst. I can see she already looks better than what she did, but her eye isn't running as bad as it was. And it's not, when I think of pink eye, I think of like flies and bugs, and I guess it's going around here lately that at least the last guy I talked to, he said, yes, it is a form of pink eye. So I treated it accordingly, and I'm hoping we won't have any long-term lasting effects with her. So walking through the cow lot, other than I enjoy doing it anyway, is a daily occurrence because I am watching for anybody that might be getting close to calving. And I did have 1 or 2 that I am keeping my eyes on. So wanting to keep the lot as scraped up, as cleaned up as best as I can is really important. I mean, if we can get this cleaned up, this other mess cleaned up, and even if it's not an if, going through and putting bedding down and keeping them up out of the mud, the water, as much as possible, going clear into the summer is going to be really important, because I don't want them getting any wetter or dirtier than what they are. I think a product, a lot of these guys being so dirty, I mean, he looks just terrible. She was a late season calf. Late season. Another late season. So, I don't know. They're quiet. They're tame. Say I'll be running everybody through the chute here in June, if not sooner. But May 5th, May 10th, I keep saying the 15th. May 10th is the ending of my spring calving season. So if we run them through the chute after that, anybody that's open or seems like they've been open or anything else like that or has any issues, we'll be able to check and we'll get everybody tagged. And I'm really looking forward to seeing everybody, you know, everybody that's mine, gone through and tagged with blue tags again. So we got white, green, the yellow tags, and those pretty ones, those select 8 where they got the yellow red Angus tags in their right ears. I'm leaving those just because I can, not because I really have to. But blue from the sales barn, white. So yeah, this is our update. 3 bale feeders, seems to be doing a pretty good job of staying ahead of them. A little bit of foxtail in this stuff, but this is third cut, and hence why they went through it so much quicker than the coarser first cut. This is all waterway hay, and they're working on the second bale of third cut. And well, I got plenty of feed, even though I wasn't planning on buying cattle like I did. And you know, really going to be managing more accordingly for it going forward here. But I got to be honest with you, I thought I'd be a little bit more stressed about having to keep more hay around, but with everything that I'm already planning on, I think I'm going to have too much. But too much is all right, because at least with feed, especially grass hay and round bales, especially for how I wrap them, you know, when I wrap them 4 times, they do stand up to weather a lot better as long as you get it made right, you know, dry. And I mean, feed will keep. I mean, I know I can at least carry anything that I don't get moved or really fed out from old crop, fed out through May or so. I'll just incorporate it in with anything of any new hay that I feed throughout the summer. And if they don't want to eat any of that really old stuff, you know, put last season hay, I'll just store it till it gets cold out again, and we'll incorporate it. Because having more than 1 bale feeder out here, I think really works in my favor, outside of the fact of more bunk space, more area for them to eat out of. But being able to put more than 1 type of bale out, so they have a little bit of a buffet to choose from. But that's all I got for this video, guys. I gotta move on to the next task. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for more videos, and to stay up to date with everything that's been going on around here. Because I gotta be honest, it might be middle of March, but things are just getting busier by the day.